Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today I want to give you guys a public service announcement to save your power cores. Now, as you know, I've been banging on about this Lunar Festival event, which is the biggest load of crap that I've ever seen in terms of an event, because it's locked behind power core spending, which I think is really annoying as a premium currency. I don't think that any event really should be behind something like this. But this video is not about the Lunar Festival event. I did that last week already, and you can see that on my channel about my explosive earn explosive rewards, my explosive comments, I guess, over the event. But what I do want to talk about, though, is the amount of power cores that you guys might be spending for this event specifically. And hey, I'll admit that, some of the milestone rewards are quite nice, and we're doing a little bit better than I thought. But that's not what I've come to talk about. Although it's partly that, I want you guys to be careful of the power cores that you're spending in this event, because it does end in 3 more days. And looking at my calendar, 3 days actually is the end of, store reset on Sunday. And what's going to be happening after that? Well, we have a character coming, and that character is going to be named, wait for it, Shadowland White Tiger. So White Tiger is going to be coming to the game pretty soon. I think that she's going to be focused in the Red Stars very soon, because I think Iceman was put in for a 3-day stint, and I think right after that we're going to see the offers for White Tiger come out, and we're going to see that her event is probably going to be starting sometime early next week. Don't know a specific date on that, if it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, or maybe even next Friday, I don't know. But the fact is that what people often do is that they'll spend power cores on the energy refreshes for these character events, anywhere up to 200 a day, which gives you, 4 power core refreshes at 50 for campaign energy. Not to mention the regular campaign energy that you probably already do anyways, whether than that is 2 to 4 different refreshes. So that's a lot of extra power cores. So I kind of want to let you guys know that this is going to be around the corner, and that you guys should probably consider saving for that. It is going to be a 14 to 15 day campaign event for the characters. They normally are about 14 or 15 days for the character event. So that means that you're going to need, at least for that event alone, you're going to need about 200 power cores times 14 days or 15 days. That's upwards to 3,000 power cores over the duration of the event, and that's not even including the amount of cores that you might need to spend for her. Sorry, for your regular campaign energy is what I meant to say. So that can stack up too, and that could add up another 2,000 to 3,000 power cores. So, if you are spending a lot of power cores on this event, be careful about this, specifically the next 3 days of the Lunar Festival. And if you're someone who doesn't really bring in a lot of power cores because your arena ranking just isn't as high as some other people's, for my example, I'm usually in the top 50, usually in the top 20, so I am getting an extra 200 to 250 power cores a day, and that's normally enough to fund, these sort of campaign events. So if you're not in there, if you're anywhere above 100, frankly, then you're probably not pulling in a lot of bonus power cores to be able to do both. So definitely consider how much you're spending on this Lunar Festival event for your alliance, and whether or not you really need to do that. Other than that, I would consider saving for White Tiger, who is going to be a very strong member of the Shadowland team, and a very important one as well, because these 2 new characters, White Tiger and Moon Knight, are going to be very important and integral to this team. So if you don't have good stars on White Tiger and Moon Knight, then you're going to be in trouble probably if you're looking to build this team. Now, as a campaign event character, you're probably going to be, getting, if you're coring, you're probably going to manage to get White Tiger at bare minimum at the 4-star level, unless you have some seriously awful RNG. That does happen from time to time. With Shatterstar, I think I still managed to get 4-star on Shatterstar. I think I cored 2 or 3 times daily. Not the 4 that I could have, but I still managed to get a 4-star on Shatterstar. White Tiger, I think you're going to want to have, so I would definitely save those power cores for that. And I actually wanted to look at the Infiltrator tag here really quick while we're talking about it here, and look at the characters that are available for this event. Obviously, this video is not necessarily for you if you're in the end game and you have all these characters available, but I always want to go over the characters that are available for the early and mid game players. So we do have a total of 32. That is including herself, White Tiger, and Moon Knight if you purchase the offers. Currently, I am not spending money though, so that's not going to happen for me. There is a lot of minions, which is interesting. So you have Shield Operative, Hand Assassin, Hand Sentry, You know, maybe not a lot, okay, that's 3 minions. But some of the characters that you will have in the early and mid game. Vulture, this is one. I'm not necessarily going to include the minions, but if you happen to have them and use them, then that's entirely up to you. Spider-Man Miles, that's a second one there. Ant-Man, also quite available in the Blitz store. Night Nurse, not really someone. There's a lot of people in here that you probably don't have geared if you're an early and mid game player because they're not really a priority. However, all of the Shadowland characters are available for this event. So Daredevil, Night Nurse, Elektra, and then White Tiger in the Moon Knight. But in terms of characters that you might have going through the game, Vulture, Miles, if you were around for the Shatterstar and Longshot event, both of them are available, and this would probably make the event very easy if you put any degree of gear into them because they synergize very well together and they're very, very strong. Other than that, there is Black Widow. Black Widow is a Wave 1 Avenger, also very easy and early on to farm now. Mysterio, another member of the Sinister Six that's highly recommended in the early and mid game. And Punisher is also another character that is very easily to pick up in the beginning of the Heroes campaign, whether or not you use him or not, because Defenders isn't really that recommended anymore. Even though he's not a Defender, he does have synergy with the Defenders. Of course, Daredevil is down here as well. So there is probably a good basis to build a team, although I don't know if this is the easier event that I have seen so far. I think the Shatterstar event was a little bit easier than this one might be. It's a bit of a weird set of characters, especially for early game players to use for this event. But if you're, depending on what difficulty you're trying to do, if you're trying to do hard mode, obviously you need to keep to the Infiltrator tag, so that's going to be quite important. Vulture, Spider-Man, Miles, you know, Daredevil, Shatterstar, Longshot, if you happen to have them, you can probably build around that. And maybe even use the Shadowland characters, frankly. Elektra and Night Nurse, that might be possible too. Black Widow, Mysterio. There's a good 7 or 8 characters that most early and mid-game players probably will have access to. Punisher as well. So it depends on how much gear you have for that, and how difficult the event actually ends up being in terms of the nodes and how much of a difficult time that is there. But obviously, if you're a mid or late game player, this part of the video probably doesn't concern you. There's more than plenty of characters to choose from. Symbiote Spider-Man obviously is one of the top characters here. Ghost, if you've been building for Dark Dimension. Invisible Woman possibly as well, and then from down on, you know, there's quite a few other characters you can choose from just to fill in the slots, frankly. So I don't think it'll be too difficult, but it is kind of an interesting set of characters that are available for this event. So hopefully it's not too difficult, and everyone can pick up a White Tiger throughout the course of the event. But the main thing that I wanted to kind of let you guys know was kind of having a public service announcement regarding your power core spending, and kind of making sure that you guys aren't overly spending too much, especially if you don't have too many of your own. That way you still have enough power cores going into the White Tiger event next week, and that way that you guys can get some shards for her, which is going to be a very important character going forward towards the end of this patch. And frankly, I think is probably a better use of your cores than trying to get, you know, some of these milestones, because some of them kind of get quite difficult to get to and requires a lot of power core spending. So if you're someone who doesn't have a ton of income in terms of power cores, then definitely consider that and make sure to hold on to them, because they are a precious resource. So just wanted to bring that to you guys really quickly for today. And of course, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Boylon signing out.